Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boys Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Well, whatever.
How about them Cowboys?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition of the Jersey Boys Podcast right here on the Premier Podcast Network. And, of course, you can catch the video on the Chop Sports YouTube channel. Dave Sturchio alongside nationally known comedian Brett Ernst. And, of course, you know what? I'm more the Grinch than this guy is at this point, so I'm just going to call him America's fan again, Keith Ernst. Fellas, well, look, it didn't go the way we had hoped. Two of us were right in picking the game, but, again, I would have rather been wrong. As me and Keith picked the Eagles to win the game, Brett thought we had a fighting chance, and we did all the way to the end, which is kind of crazy considering how the game played out. Cowboys fall to the Eagles in a 15-round fucking heavyweight fight, Brett. Like, that's what it was, man. It was definitely a fight. Does this loss to the Eagles, what does it show you about the rest of the season going forward? Meaning, yes, the cupcake next 4 weeks, but then it's the back end. Like, what does it show you about the Cowboys team overall going forward?
Look, man, we played a great game. I mean, there's no two ways around it. I mean, Dak played phenomenal. The defense, we're not going to blow every team out. And you're playing with I would argue the best team in the NFL. And it's not like it was a trap game for them. You know what I mean? They gave us their all. We gave them their all. And we lost by literally inches.
Yeah.
So look, it affects the NFC, us winning the NFC East. But other than that, if we get in the playoffs and we see them again, I hope we marinate in this loss. Well, the
Cowboys will, the Cowboys are going to see him again in 5 weeks. They have 4 games before the next time they do meet him. Keith, obviously, we both didn't have a good feeling about the game, even though Brett sent that text right before the game. I was like, it's really good. I should probably follow it up with say me too.
But you got why I did it though.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
you said I got a bad feeling. I basically followed it up like me too, man. Bad feeling. It's definitely going to work 2 weeks in a row. But Keith, looking back now, like Brett just mentioned, Dak Prescott played his ass off. He played a very, very sound game of football using his legs. He had some smoke on some of these balls. He was finding a lot of open receivers, couple drops here and there. Michael Gallup had a big one that we could probably, dissect a million times over. But what is your feeling coming out of the Philadelphia game? And now heading into, again, now that they're 2.5 games behind the Eagles, and the NFC East kind of looks bleak, it's still not kind of over, right? I mean, everything's still kind of in front of us.
It's not. We're 2 games behind. They got to play KC, they got to play San Francisco, and we're playing them again. So I mean, and there's 9 games left altogether. So it's really far from over, to tell you the truth. But Nick Sirianni, fuck that guy. He has drop kick face. I want to punch him. Celebrating him. Did you see him whining when Swift fumbled the ball and our guy stripped it out and took off with it? But Swift did recover it under. He did. Mm-hmm. Remember, he did. But
then they stripped him on the ground.
Like it's not even a fumble. It's like, dude, shut up,
bro. I'm his arm wrecking celebration on the side. I'm like, bro, you're acting like you're a 30-year-old child. Like coaching grown men. He does have the most punchable face in the league, and it's not close. And it's like the things
celebrations and stuff. I mean,
right. It's like, bro, do you remember? I don't know if you probably don't, but there's things that stick in my mind about this guy. Do you remember him against the Giants in the playoffs last year when the camera panned around him? It was like one of the sky cams, and he caught it. Like he knew where it was. And I don't know if you guys remember, but he did one of these. He was like in front of the camera. I was like, bro, I want to fucking punch you until I get tired.
Oh, remember last year? Wasn't last year though? How about the Cowboys after they beat us?
Yeah, no, and he had a Dallas week or something like that shirt.
But what's funny is that was with freaking Cooper Rush starting too.
Yeah.
Instead of just taking the humble win, he's got to talk shit. I can't stand him. I just can't.
And that goes for all Eagles fans. None of these guys know how to actually win with they don't come correct. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't.
I was gonna say too that he's not yet there, and I don't know if he'll ever be the Buddy Ryan status because I can't stand that piece of shit. Rest in peace.
But at least we had a fucking coach, Jimmy Johnson, who wanted to punch him in his face. Like McCarthy ain't gonna say shit.
Run his fat butt into the locker room. You see that?
Right.
And Greg Olson's like, you couldn't say a lot of this stuff now, could you? In today's day.
Greg Olson also. Greg Olson, and I like what the hell is his name now? Now I'm drawing a blank. He actually follows me on Twitter now. Kevin Burkhardt. I like Kevin Burkhardt, and I like the way he calls a game. But Greg Olson just seems like, which cowboy like banged his wife? Like, why does he hate the Cowboys so much, dude?
See, now we're going to – I know, right? No, I was going to say, though, going back to the predictions, I think Brett and you were more right than me, even though I had my score was – but that's not how I thought the game was going to go. You had the
Cowboys struggling. You had the Cowboys struggling on offense.
I did, but on offense I did, yeah. And our defense, I compared it to the 49er game. Brett's prediction was more right, even though we lost, and yours was right on. Because you said it was going to be a slugfest and we're going to lose by 6 and we lost by 5.
Damn.
So I know. So that's pretty good. So but I'll be honest, all the while I was watching the game, and I don't know if you felt this way, bro. Oh, Brett kind of missed the first half though.
Yeah, shout out to Delta.
I went back. Oh,
you did? All right, but I'm just saying, bro, when I was watching the game, and if you were watching it, I bet you we would have had the same feeling almost or maybe not for you, but I just felt like we weren't going to win the game the whole time. And I just knew it until those fuckers had me believing on the 6-yard line. I was like, holy shit, we're gonna man.
I had my bonus mom Barry starting to record me, my brother, my father. Like she started recording it secretly because I was like, guys, we're gonna win this game. Like we're gonna score here. Like this is going to happen. I was fully committed, and I'm never convinced like that about the Cowboys ever.
Yeah,
but the call after call after call, like in that last stretch, like Brett said it best, we were kind of, we were gifted it, and then we re-gifted the package and gave it to him on Christmas.
My buddy Jason said that. He goes, what's so frustrating is the Cowboys gave us a gift and we re-gifted it. And it's so true. But I was very, very excited because I said to the guy next to me at the lounge, I was like, something's going to happen here. And when they fumbled, I'm like, holy shit, we got it, right? Oh. But then I was like, oh, God, so okay.
Mean,
then,
that was so mean.
It was the meanest thing the Cowboys could have done is not recover that
when
ball.
We started to unwind and when we had the false start call, I was like, shit. And then we had the sack and then we missed, then we overthrew. And then it's like, look, what I loved about this particular team, first of all, it's just 3 weeks in a row. Okay. Dak has played amazing. But what I love about this team right now, and even the way they looked on the sideline, is they were very focused. It was like they're just coming into themselves now.
Bro, CeeDee Lamb is on another planet right now. That dude's getting open and he's making people miss. He's playing like the elite receiver that we need him to play with, But yeah, man, it's so funny. I was so convinced we were gonna win that when there was a false start, I was like, good. It gives them extra room to run the route. I was so convinced that they were going to win. I was like, that gives Dak more room to operate. And like, I was so sad.
I want to bring something up about that too, because Brett, you agreed with me in the text. And these are little things that I look at that bother me. And let's bring in, we can't forget this one. There's 2 things in this game that bothers me, that gets me a little worried for future games. One, and we talked about this, Sturch, was McCarthy not challenging that spot on Jalen Hurts. He was like 3 yards behind.
He was going to be very short.
And that's a huge difference, even with that tush push. 4th and 3 to, fourth and a half a yard or whatever they gave him. I don't know why he didn't challenge that.
It's like I thought like there's so many, and sometimes when they pan up to Dan Quinn in the upper deck or whatever, he's in the, the coaches, whatever the fuck. And I see all these people around him. And I'm always thinking to myself, like, what the fuck does that guy do? You know, what does that guy do?
Yeah.
You're telling me that the Cowboys don't have one guy employed on their staff that is specifically hired to make sure that he's got the down and distance and the yard markers like accurate and correct. Should be calling down to McCarthy right away, like, dude, dog, he's short. Throw your fucking little flag. You know what I mean? Because he's not doing it. And then it costs us in the end. I mean, a couple times. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man.
Maybe it's one of the guys in the booths, and there's like some hot cocktail waitress he was like flirting with at the time or something.
Right. The matter of time. Time and place. So she's like, shouldn't you be doing your job? Like, nah, they're fine. Like everything's cool. Like, no, they're not fine. Actually, they're short.
Wait, the second thing I want to bring up, which Brett agreed with me on the text because he said he was thinking the same thing, and I'm going to give you a chance, bro, to remember it. What should we have done on that very last drive?
Kick the field goal.
No.
That you talking about?
No. I'm talking about it was 3rd and 26, and there was 5 seconds left.
I don't remember, bro.
Oh, he said run the I'll remember if I'm
No. Hold on. No. I said, bro, it's 3rd and 26. They're playing end zone.
Oh yeah, run the out. They're
playing an end zone Hail Mary prevent.
I thought you were talking about when we wanted to go, when we should have went for 3. No, you're talking about get out of bounds. Yeah, run out. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because there's 5 seconds left. These guys run freaking 4.240s. They could do a 15-yard out. You'll have the ball on the 10-yard line, possibly, and maybe even closer with 2 seconds left if you run.
See, I just think in typical Dallas Cowboy
but
form,
then it's 4th down.
I'm well aware, but I just think in typical Dallas, I just, unfortunately for me, the way I thought about that was like you either have one for the gusto or you do your plan and run the out. But here's my problem. You know what? You know the first thing I thought of when I'm thinking about,
get to the problem. What's the problem?
The problem is I thought about Terrence Williams against the Giants, where he didn't know to get out of bounds. And like I feel like there would be a problem in that transition where we would just fuck it up there.
Hold on. In these types of situations, my brother is right. You run a quick out to the sideline. You put it where if he can't get it, that's
Nobody
fine.
can get it. Right.
Right. And then if you overshoot it, you still got 2 seconds left.
Exactly.
But where we really messed up, and then that gets you closer. But when I don't know if they were setting up a hook and lateral, but I don't know why CD was so short to the end zone.
Well, if you saw, by the way, all you fantasy nerds out there, you guys got charged with a fumble lost by CD Lamb. So, because that's exactly what he was probably looking to do. But the only issue is when he caught the ball, there was 7 green jerseys around him and not one goddamn Cowboy in sight in front of him to receive a pitch. You know what I mean? So there was no hook and ladder design. He was on his own. He was on an island. It's just crazy to me. Like, why even throw that ball?
This is me. 5 seconds left. Fucking Lamb or maybe Gallup. I know he was dropping, or whoever Cooks, who's fast as fuck. You do a comeback to the sideline or an out to the sideline. That's it. Then you go run to the ball. I bet you would have 3 seconds left. You regroup and then boom, and then you can do a play where it doesn't have to look like a freaking whatever the hell that was. You know what I mean? That we ran at the end. I'm not saying we would have won the game with that, but I'm saying it would have gave us a better opportunity.
Keith, does that worry you? Keith, does that worry you at all going forward? Just based off the recent history of a Mike McCarthy-led team, it seems to me that like in that moment,
yes, it does.
We never have the right play to fucking.
It does. It does. That's what I was saying.
Because if you think about, remember Zeke was a blocker, was the center for that last play, right? Then you have 2 years ago when Dak ran and slid, and we're like, oh, don't worry, we'll spike it, we'll be fine, and then like we run out of time. Does that worry you going forward?
Yes.
Now? Like we don't know how to run a fucking last play.
Stars, those are amazing points. That if I would have thought of that, I would have brought that up with this. Because it's very similar. Yes, it is. That's what bothers me or gets me worried about this team. And also the challenging. Because Mike McCarthy's been suspect in challenging. Remember a couple years ago, last game against the Giants, when he didn't challenge that catch that do you remember that? Was that we could have won the division?
Yeah.
He didn't challenge it and was like, well, everyone's like, what are you doing? You know,
that's who made the joke? Was it me that he holds on to timeouts like Bitcoin?
Red flags. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like Bitcoin, yeah. And it's funny because that seems to be the MO. And it's so funny. When Mike McCarthy was hired, I have a business partner who's a Packer fan. He goes, "You're going to hate his clock management." And I'm like, I'll be fine. Right? Like, dude, it is the one thing that I keep going back to that this guy can't seem to get right. And that's clock management. And I think the way the last drive panned out for the Cowboys was as good as you could possibly get it. Like, penalty after penalty in our favor finally. And then we have a situation where we're on the 6th. I'm like, oh, this is great. We're going to win this fucking game. This is unbelievable how we're even in this thing.
Wait, I want to get to the analytics of everything because there was a point where we were like, should we just take the 3? And I get when we went for it on 4th down, but we didn't get in the end zone. If we took that 3, that put us into overtime. Right now, both decisions I could see on that. And McCarthy, I don't know who made that decision.
Very aggressive, all McCarthy.
Yeah, and he was like, let's just stay aggressive with this. Now, if you're going to go aggressive, then you're in 4th down territory, then you got to play accordingly, right? With running the ball at least a little bit. Now, the problem here and what I see with the whole performance, the one aspect was McCarthy, like going back again, it's different when you're watching it from when you guys were texting me in real time.
Yeah, it is.
Challenging. And the other thing is, our offensive line is just, we have no depth, man. And
doesn't even matter depth. Our starters suck.
I know. Well, they don't
They're all
suck.
starting. They're starting.
They're tender. We're getting dumb penalties again. And that's why we can't get a running game, man. They're not blowing guys off the ball. And they had 5 sacks.
Yeah, there were times where Dak had a lot of time to throw, though.
Yeah. No, listen, there was a couple, but Terrence Steele was a turnstile. I'm going to call him Turnstile Steele for the rest of the way. Because
I know. I mean,
my
look,
man,
he was had a really bad game.
He was the highest rated right tackle the week before.
That's what I mean.
Like, how do you go from night and day? I mean, that's
I don't know.
You are a complete
who knows what he's going
waste
through.
of a person on that.
People have bad days, man.
But anyway, I will say this. So a lot of this was made public. I, for one, don't like to go down this road, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
But how much do you blame the officials, man?
Zero.
Come on.
But we had a chance to win at the end. Look, okay.
Yeah, but
no.
It wouldn't have been that way. It wouldn't have been that way.
You asked me the question, okay?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There's only 3 games since I've been watching the Dallas Cowboys for 40 plus years. I meant 30 plus years. I meant 20 plus years.
Don't age yourself here.
There's 3 games where I blame the refs.
Can I guess one?
Yes.
Snap infraction against the Redskins. They called it on LP Locador. No?
I got one,
Damn.
Keith. I got one. Let me guess. When they called Emmett in the end zone, and that cost us the game when it was a remember that against the Giants?
No.
So that's 2 no-goes.
Safety, and it was like, bro, he never left the end zone. And
no, that was Washington, bro. That wasn't the Giants.
He said Washington. He said Washington.
Oh, I thought he said the Giants.
No, he said Washington.
No, I did say the Giants. I did say the Giants.
My bad. All right.
So, no, bro, but you should know this because I've never heard, look, I've seen Brett in so many fights. I've seen him get hurt so many times.
Oh, this was the holding call. The holding call.
Never seen him like cry in any of that. He takes pain like this. He cried and screamed like a little bitch in this game.
Oh, Crawford Kerr, bro.
And this was the 1986 Dallas Cowboy New York Giant game. And he had every fucking right to. We had 3 touchdowns called back, Sturch. 3 on holding penalties.
One.
On the last one, they called Crawford Kerr.
Yeah.
People almost called the cops. I'm not joking.
They did for real.
They thought somebody was killing me.
I got to ask my dad. I was 1, so maybe he spiked me a couple times on the floor.
Let me explain this game to you real quick because it's Giants week 2, so I can bring this up.
Sure, yeah, it works out well. Yeah.
People don't understand what this did to our season that year. We were 6-2. We already beat the Giants opening night, Monday night. This was Herschel Walker's first year with us. We're 6-2. They're 6-2. This was like the big division game. The refs, and I looked it up, all right, this part, because I can't remember this part. We were flagged 9 times for 113 fucking yards. And I'm telling you right now, Sturch, every single one of those penalties came after big plays. Every single one. They were penalized like 3 times or something for generic false starts or whatever.
You just gave me I'm not joking, man. I remember that.
PTSD?
My stomach, man.
PTSD over there.
This is why I'm blaming them. And not only that season we were 6-2. Guess what our record ended up being after that game?
13-3.
Nope. 7-9. We won one more fucking game that whole season.
Oh, so it really
that ruined us. Just the whole game it just deflated the whole team, and it was just awful. It was awful.
Wait,
we won one more game after that?
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Imagine when Pittsburgh and Dallas played that Zeke. Remember when Zeke scored?
Yeah.
And they called it back. All right. And then he scored again. Mm-hmm. And then they called it back. And then he scores again. And they call it back. All on phantom fucking holding calls. It was
because even I remember the commentators like, well, where is this? So whatever. That's one. The other was the 1991 game against the Giants again. I won't get into that. But come on, the most recent one. The fucking Raider game. Thanksgiving.
Against the Raiders.
Anthony Brown was held pass interference 4 times. Did you know? And I didn't know this. Brad Sham said it on the air because he's like, that's the worst officiating game he ever. He said the same thing recently when I was listening to Cowboys radio. Anthony Brown was not penalized for pass interference once after that game or once before. But he just so happened to be penalized 4 fucking times in that game for pass interference.
When I think of the Raiders, I think of the index card game. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that one with Jeff Heath and all those other shit.
But with this game, dude, no. I mean, look, there were bad calls on both sides. That illegal contact was crap that they called against us.
You mean the interference call?
Against the Eagles, sorry. They called it against the Eagles. I was agreeing with you at one point, Sturch. I was. Remember? And you're like, yeah, the refs. That pass interference with Anthony Brown was awful.
Ball was 15 feet over A.J. Brown's head, man.
The hold was Rico Dowdle was suspect. There was a hold, but come on, that happens on every fucking play.
The one that drove me to literally, and I don't drink during the Cowboy games unless I'm at the game drinking Cowboy Ritas. I just, the one that drove me completely bonkers was, look, when a referee sees an infraction, he throws a penalty flag because he saw the infraction happen.
I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
They picked up the flag after the illegal hands to the face.
I get that.
It's illegal hands to the face. It's not. You
can't
look
at that. You're right. You're right. It should have been a penalty, but did that really affect the play?
Yeah.
It's not like he tackled him before he fucking got the ball. He didn't do anything. He just smacked him in the face, and he still
how about this? How about in the Shoemaker catch? He's being ridden like Seabiscuit, bro.
Watch that in real time. Watch it in real time.
Fine, but here's another thing. And here's the problem. Here's the thing that Chris Sims brought up, and I don't like Chris Sims at all. I hate his father too.
My point. It's the ones they didn't call, like on Micah. The holding was atrocious.
Bro, he's getting assaulted every game. But the one that's the crazy part was Shoemaker, right? When you caught the ball and he wound up being an inch short or whatever the hell it was, right? Chris Sims pointed it out. He goes, well, wait a minute. Define this. Make this make sense. Because when you're determining a catch or no catch, you're also determining it. Did he survive the ground? Right? That's the catch, no catch. Did he survive the ground? When he goes to the ground, the ball's in the end zone.
That's so true. Yeah.
So what are we actually challenging here? Is he short? Well, it doesn't matter if he's short because we don't even know if it's a catch yet.
Yeah. No, that's a great call.
Tell me that. And it sucks because it's like I don't want to think about that kind of shit. We were right there. We're 5 fucking yards away from a win.
That's what I mean.
Right? And I get it, but it's like it does drive you nuts.
Hold on. I mean, they were penalized more than us. The Eagles were penalized more than us in this game.
Yeah, but it was not how many times.
It's when.
I'm not. Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right. It's not. Somebody else brought that up. It's when you're penalized, right?
Right.
So if you're penalized and you're allotted 10 yards on kickoff, opposed to taking away a first down or pushing you out of field goal range, it's bigger. But if you don't think that there is some type of conspiracy going on, and I wanted to bring this up somewhere, whether it's Dallas, whether it's Vegas, whether it's the commissioner, who the fuck knows? But did you see Tampa and Texas? The Texans, I'm sorry. When
CJ Stroud threw for like 1 billion yards.
Okay. It was 37-39. If you took the tackle, giving away either 2.5, right, or 3, and the field goal kicker doesn't come in and they down the ball, they don't even go for the 2-point conversion. Let that sink in. Dude. So if you took Tampa and the points, you won. if they kicked the fucking field goal you pushed, unless you had 2.5, or if they even went for they didn't even go for the 2-point conversion.
Bro, you know what's
they didn't have the running back kicking the ball too.
They had nothing. They just downed it and let people go in, and Tampa ends up covering. Do you understand? My buddy Alex Monaco was freaking the fuck out.
Oh, he is a loose cannon.
But that's a good point, though. Well, think about it, okay? Think about that for a second, because they did have a running back kicking, right? Field goals, because one guy
he only attempted one and then he kicked off like one.
Bro, so this is how you got to look at that. I know people want to win, but if a field goal is blocked in return, they get 2 points. If a 2-point conversion is returned for a touchdown, they get 2 points. So the reason they're doing that is because they don't want to give the other team a chance to get 2 points.
Yeah, I know, but it's more fun to think that Vegas.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, my argument really for it is, what if you get hurt? You already won the game. Yeah.
My argument is that they want the Kelsey brothers in the Super Bowl, and that's not even close. Like, that's the official. They want that 6 Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. They want her in the fucking stands. They want to push the fucking chunky soup and Moderna and then the vaccines and shit. Like, it's all coming to fruition. They're loving this shit.
What's his name? The brother needs to start dating like Selena Gomez or somebody, Kesha, and then they have them both in the booth.
Dude, it's a mess, bro. Listen, again. The Eagles win. They go into a bye week, which is good for them. They get to get healthier or whatever. Oh, by the way, there was one more thing about the Eagles game. Well, there's multiple things about the Eagles game, but I saw today that there was an Eagles report. An Eagles reporter came out and bluntly said that Marquise Bell decided to twist the arm of one Dallas Goedert and purposely fracture his forearm on a tackle.
Oh, my God.
They slowed it down. He's like, as you could see, he grabs his arm. I'm like, bitch, he threw a stiff arm. What do you want Marquise Bell to do? Like, you want to be like, I guess I'm stiff arm. Guess I can't do anything about this. Like, no, take his arm and snap it the fuck off. That's what you do. Get off me. Stop.
All right. So 2 more things I want to bring up. It's going to be fast.
I hate the Eagles, bro. I fucking hate the Eagles.
First, bro, you got to get on my NFL Plus, because there's a view, and I started watching it. And this is shit Brett's good at.
All 32?
It's called A23. You ever see that? So you got the condensed version. You watched a big replay, and then there's it's called A23. But it's an aerial view with no audio.
It's all 22, I thought.
All 22, yeah. So, bro, it's an aerial view where you could see everything.
Like you're watching film.
Exactly.
No, that's exactly what it is.
And they show two different camera angles. So you would see what the linebackers are doing, what the routes are doing, what everyone. It's something you should watch. But me saying that is, I saw one with Brandon Cooks on that Shoemaker. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
So the Shoemaker one, Brandon Cooks did a slant in all by himself, bro. And I think Dak had it picked out before. Obviously, he knew what he was going to do.
Dak is definitely notorious for that.
Just cutting he's like this, but then he's like, oh, okay, because he thought we scored. You know what I mean?
Dude,
but that was
not for nothing. Huge. I think it was Jake Ferguson, who, by the way, is coming into his own as a very good tight end. He's definitely Witten-esque with a little bit more on the wheels. But he was supposed to, if you watch that play, and they did break this down. I think Brian Baldinger broke it down, where if Jake Ferguson took his safety high, there would be no Shoemaker would have walked in, is what I'm saying. But because of the fact that there was no pick set, Shoemaker completely just whatever.
See, what I love about these types of things now that is made to the average fan is they can see like I would love to go back to even Romo's games and show people why a lot of those picks weren't Romo's fault, right? Because like you just said, if the tight end doesn't take them back further, or if you're not running the right route or deep enough, everything's designed to pull players away so the underneath is there. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes, it's a read depending on if the placement of the corner, whether he's going to run, say, a deep out or a post play, the quarterback's putting it where it's supposed to be, that type of shit. Yeah. I love that stuff about and
that's football. where all the new age content creators, specifically the Cowboys ones that I follow, that they all watch this all 22 shit because they're able to see everything develop on the field.
Bro, you got to check it out. I'll send you everything. But listen, another thing I want to bring up before we leave this game, the things that bothered us. I'm Jalen Hurts, and I'm his knee injury, and I'm the whole. First of all, he when he did that before the half, he only flopped because he thought we hit his knee. It was his own player that hit it. That's why there was no penalty.
It was DeMarcus. No,
it was his own player. It was his own player, bro. His own player hit his knee. No, DeMarcus Lawrence came around, but what he did was legal. His own player got blocked into his knee. So, anyways, regardless, he's limping. That. They come out the second half. If you notice when he's walking out, he kind of has like a little. It's like, we don't know.
It's the Mahomes effect.
The first 3 fucking plays they run. One run to Swift. Another run to Swift. The third play, fakes it to Swift, and that motherfucker takes off like a bitch, dude. He's a bitch. He did that shit on purpose.
See, I disagree with you. I mean, I'm in spirit for fun, yeah. But in football, no. It's the same thing Jim Brown used to do.
No, I agree. I'm just saying he's a bitch because I'm a Cowboy fan. No,
the best part.
I'm with you.
The best part is that
I'm with you.
Yeah, no, the best part is the broadcast team is laid up with like their next line. They're like, as they're going to break, they're like, right? And Burkhart's like, what leg injury? It's like, fuck you, Burkhardt. He's such a dick.
There's another video. I don't know if you guys seen it, but there's a ref. You want to go back to the refs and the Eagles.
Grabbing ass? Did you see that one?
Did you see that, dude?
Bro, what is that?
I have no clue. Bro, he's hugging
somebody said that was right after the illegal hands to the face thing.
Really?
So he was like on his like saying like, all right, we're gonna pick that up. We're gonna pick that up. We're gonna pick that up. He's like cupping his ass cheek.
Yeah,
like I don't really understand that at all.
We'll explain it. So yeah, he's hugging. Who's the player? I didn't even know the player.
I think it was Bird, the fucking new safety.
Oh, he's hugging him. His hands on his back, bro. He keeps going down to his ass, and like it's almost like he's grabbing his ass.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And then he goes back up, and he's arm around him, and the other Eagles are coming up to the ref. And then he goes down again and gives him one good swipe before he fucking leaves.
Dude, that might be his thing, man. That might be his thing.
It might be like, hey man, I'm gonna pick this flag up. Just let me grab some ass. Kevin Bird's like, yeah, man, do what you got to do, bro.
hey, if it gets us a win. This guy's
my brother said that. My brother actually said that. He's like, since when does like and this goes to like McVay too. My dad always says he's like, back in the day, there was a coach's box. You couldn't go outside that box. Now these coaches are fucking sprinting to the goal line, and they're like in the ref's ear, like, just like, fuck, it's so ridiculous. And then you see Sirianni's bitch made ass on the sidelines, and he's just like in the ref's ear, in it. And my brother's like, next play, there's a penalty on Dallas. Next play, guaranteed, there's a penalty on Dallas. Oh man, it's just.
And I think there should be something with an etiquette for refs that should be implied where they don't do that. You don't hug players and put your arm around them.
Stop pretending they're celebrities. Right, bro. I'll tell you right now.
Maybe after the game you want to do something, but during the game that should not be allowed. That's
my biggest gripe.
I don't know how to compare it to something.
My biggest gripe with the NFL right now is that it's a $1 trillion organization, right? It's like there's unlimited funds in the NFL, but yet they can't determine to hire 90 people total. If you think about it, like to be full-time referees, to learn the playbooks, to learn the rules, to learn all this shit. Because now you got, look, and I'm not gonna get canceled here because I don't really care. But like what I'm saying is, you got these female refs on the sidelines spotting balls completely off the chart, like just not even close to where these guys are going down. And I'm like, the biggest problem I have is when the referees are right there. Like I'm talking end zone. I'm talking they're right there. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you miss that?
Well, I don't, and I'm not just saying this. I don't think it has to do with them being females.
Of course, I was making an
observation. They're the ones that are doing it mostly now. I get.
They're the ones that are going to throw a flag about the first. The female ref is going to throw a flag and call holding and be like, "It's because you didn't call me back, you bitch."
But I bet this bad spotting's been going on for fucking years, bro.
Worse. It's so bad now. Anyway,
well, what's insane to me is we have the technology to get it right.
Right.
So now what it is they're either punishing a team if they're going to challenge it once. I mean, we're watching it at home. Even that holding call against Dallas when the receiver broke and he just barely held his little towel.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not impeding anything.
Yeah.
So why is that even a call?
It's ticky tack. It's just you start to worry about the integrity of the game.
Let me tell you
Unfortunately,
too, man. They gave us some good calls at the end. There was some suspect calls that they called against the Eagles. But why is this even acceptable? And I do agree. If you make it a full time or just say, look, this is your grades, okay? If you're making these dumb calls, hold them fucking accountable. They're never held accountable.
Well, that's why it happens when you get these all-star football crews in the playoffs. So like, oh, this guy's the crew chief, but you'll notice like the back line judge is another crew chief from another game. So it's like they're trying to get the elite of the elite to play these playoff games and the Super Bowl crews and the paydays that these guys are going to get. But why is it so hard to employ people full time?
Here's what's crazy: the refs, right? The cheerleaders say, like, and again, they don't make shit. The cheerleaders, they make like $12 a game.
That's not their fucking full-time job either.
I know, but I'm saying, like, at least, okay, you can make an argument for that because it's fun. It's part of the, whatever. It's like playing the band or something fun. But the referees have been deciding, give them all six figures. You know what I mean? They can work in the offseason. They should be extremely selective in who they take.
You got practice squad guys making like fucking $5,000 a week.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just employ these dudes. Let them learn the rule book. Let them be universally on the same page. Like, it just seems like sometimes, and again, you don't want to say this, but it feels like there's like a vendetta against a certain team. And I'm not just talking about the Cowboys. If you watch the Bengals and Bills game, there was a couple suspect calls. Like, it's just every week they're too involved. I want to be like, despite the fact that they sucked ass at their job. Like, if the Cowboys would have pulled this out, I would have been like, yo, the Cowboys should get 2 wins. 2. Right? Because you beat the Eagles and you beat the fucking horseshit calls.
Yeah, but see, I don't know.
I'm just saying it's a general.
I know. Here, but I was going to say something with the refs again that, when they're hugging the players and they're close to them and this and that. The reason I'm bringing that up, and I thought of an analogy. Okay, that'd be like a jury going up to a defendant or whatever, a juror, and hugging them and doing this and that, and then they rule in their favor. You get what I'm saying? They're not allowed to go near or touch these people.
They can't even talk to them.
It should be something like that.
When Keith's mom when they found her not guilty, she
you weren't allowed. You ran out of gas on that one, bro.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say something, but I didn't want to do the bad luck. I didn't want to give us Malokia.
Yeah, the Malok. Anyway, so look, the one last thing I'll bring up as we segue into our second meeting with the New York Football Giants coming up, where the Cowboys opened up as 15.5-point favorites. So you do the math, how bad the Giants are or how much they want you to bet the Giants. But I will say this, and I think it's a big problem, and I guess it stems from the offensive line, but Tony Pollard, I like him. He's the guy. I think it was you, Keith, who said like he got paid and then kind of checked out, or maybe it was you, Brett.
No,
but he didn't get paid. He didn't get paid, right? He's a franchise tag guy right now.
Good chunk of change.
It's getting $10 million to be that guy, right? But like you would think that if you're making the franchise tag money, you would think that you're going to try to earn yourself a nice little payday. And it just seems to me that Tony Pollard, as dynamic as he could be sometimes when he's in the open field and open space, that he is not your typical bell cow. And there's a lot of people on Twitter right now calling for more carries for Rico Dowdle.
Of course. All right. Now I want to say something about Pollard. He is. And I did have things. Yeah, I see watching that game. There was he's going down with arm tackles a lot. Mm-hmm. There's something there. But I would say later in the game, I saw the old Tony Pollard. He had a 15-yard run. Someone pissed him off, and that's what needs to happen. Somebody in that locker room, I don't know who it is, needs to call him a bitch and say, quit being a fucking pussy and go out there and fucking run. Get under his skin. Let him motivate this guy, because it seems like there's something there. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't have that push. And I'm not blaming the offensive line. I'm not. And I'll say it again. You don't want to use Deuce Vaughn? Fine. Then more Dowdle or whoever. We got to stay balanced. I know that's a whole nother conversation, Sturch. I know you said we're a passing team now, but we're not going to win that way. We're just not.
I'm only in again. Yeah, we'll go down that road again one day. But
yeah,
I just like,
right now,
go ahead.
Listen, man,
Brett, go ahead on
I want
Pollard.
to throw something in on this, because I'm look, the acceleration, yeah, but our offensive line is not the same thing as it was last year, man. And they're not blowing guys off the ball. And I think that is definitely affecting the running game, and I've seen sometimes too where he'll like try to get to the side and or take the corner, fucking boom, there's a spy back, boom, there's a safety up on him. It's just again, I think we already said this. I don't know why in free agency or in the deadline was, we didn't get an offensive lineman or a guard or something, man, to help us. We needed that. We needed that.
I do not think it's I don't think it's the offensive line. I think it's Pollard. I do.
Now, when you say you think it's Pollard, do you think it's post-injury Pollard? Like, is that the reason?
When I see him, he's not as explosive as he was. I mean, look what Dowdle did with his one fucking carry.
Yeah.
I'm being serious. He ran 50, how many yards? 20 yards down the field or something? Sturch?
Yeah.
With that holding call? Well, that's my point.
Yeah, you got brought back.
Yeah, I'm saying, though, I mean, and the thing is, though, Dowdle's now what Pollard was last year. And this is a continuous thing. I wish we kept Zeke. I wish we didn't stop what we were doing before. But I really want to see Deuce Vaughn get at least 10 to 15 fucking carries in a game in the first half. I want to see it.
Just came over from Michael Galkin that, according to Mike McCarthy in his weekly press conference, there was questions about Rico Dowdle getting more involved, taking some more workload off of Tony Pollard's plate, and he responded saying, "I'm comfortable with our play time right now." So he's harping on that, and he's sticking with it. Other news before we get into the Giants is that it looks to me that Martavius Bryant will be signed at least to the practice squad from what I'm seeing. He was reinstated by Roger Goodell. He hasn't played since 2018. So it's been 5 years. He's 31 years old. He's 6'4", runs a 4.4. He's a big body receiver. Now, the only time I thought about that was like, I think like Dak sailed one right over Cooks' head. And I was like, man, if he was like 6'4", that might have been a catch. Right. And I'm like, maybe Dak said that too. Like, hey, can we get a tall guy? Like, you got a lot of burners and they're great. They're very skilled at what they do, but can I get some body? But yeah, so we'll see if that Martavius Bryant thing plays out. But we move to the Giants. The Giants are in literal disarray right now. Daniel Jones goes down with a torn ACL.
Wait.
He's out for the year. What's up, Brad?
No, go ahead. Just give me time to bring this up because I couldn't figure out the name of it, but it's going back to what we were talking about earlier. But go ahead, go. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm saying that the Giants are kind of free falling right now. Right now, I believe they have a top 5 pick in the NFL draft next year. I don't know, you guys are ahead or at least the ones that try to convince me that teams don't tank. And I'm not saying they're going to tank, but they had a chance to bring in a Carson Wentz who just signed with the Rams. You know what I mean? So like guys that are available that they're not bringing in, they're letting Danny DeVito out there throw the fucking football or not throw the football. The Giants are a dog shit team right now. And I don't know. Listen.
Flashback.
I know.
Arizona game. You could literally take this monologue Sturch is doing and insert it to our show before the Arizona game.
That was week 2. That was week 2.
I'm just saying you can.
Bro,
Week three.
Nobody's throwing games. Number one.
No,
number two.
But they're not skilled as us at all.
Okay, but here's the other thing. This type of loss.
Keith, they're not.
Sure. No, they're not. They're not on paper, in real life, across the board. They're not a better team than us. But these are the type of games that you could fall fucking into after losing like you did to the Eagles and then coming up against a division rival that is not what they used to be. Now, if Dallas is going to stay focused and continue what they're doing, because even what Dak after the game is talking about is we're learning, we're growing, and it is. I find them starting to work on top of the mistakes to figure it out. It looks like they're still figuring it out. Mm-hmm. But again, don't underestimate these. It's the
Giants. That's why I said the 15.5 point spread is ridiculous because it's the Giants. I don't give a shit.
Actually, the last time I think we had a double-digit spread against the Giants, we covered it. But besides that, have you guys watched the condensed version of the Giants and Raiders game?
Fuck you, Keith.
Did you see DeVito throwing the ball?
No.
Did you see the drops?
bro.
Did you see the hand? There's no bro. I mean, this is the same thing with Dobbs. When I was stuck.
Why don't you just believe him, Dave? Did you watch it?
No. I thought he was joking.
No, he's
Like,
a
I literally
fucking
thought he was
maniac. Bro, listen. He's a sick kid. He's a sick kid. That's
you guys watched
watching
the Raiders
the
condensed
condensed version
No, I
of
missed it.
two of, he's watching a condensed version of two of the worst teams in the NFL. He's got issues. So trust him on that.
Here's my thing. The reason I do that and the reason I talk about this, all right, is because when you don't have tape on somebody, okay, and they just have one or two games, and I bring up Arizona because it's the same thing with Dobbs. Okay, how many? We were 13-point favorites against Arizona, everybody. We lost by 12, which combines the fucking 25 points we lost by.
That's math.
Can you name? No, you can't. It's fine. The last three times. No, it's fine. The last three times we were double-digit spreads.
No.
Yeah,
No,
hold on. This year, within the last 5 years?
No, 3 times. Last 2 seasons. You could do that. Just last 2 seasons.
All right, we were double-digit favorites against the Jets. Were we not double-digit favorites against the Jets at home or no?
No.
We weren't? Even without Aaron Rodgers?
I'm almost positive.
Oh.
I think we were 8 or 9.
Yeah.
All right. Giants last year? Yes, no, maybe.
No.
Giants last year? No. Okay.
Well,
Redskins?
it may have been, but let me just tell you, okay?
All right.
They were kind of back to back. The Texans, 17 points. We were 17-point favorites against the fucking Texans. You guys remember what happened that game? We were down by a touchdown in the fourth fucking quarter. We were 17 points. They didn't even have a starting quarterback. They were alternating all these quarterbacks in.
I remember.
7 points. You know when we won? In the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, I remember watching I actually last week I watched the condensed version of that game, and
the other, believe it or not, was Tennessee, 12.5 points.
And we almost lost to Josh Dobbs.
We did. We ended up covering, but it was like a bullshit.
A little more sweaty than it needed to be.
Yeah, it was something like that. So I don't fall for these double digit.
I don't either. That's why I said that originally in the open. Look, I think the Giants are in a free fall right now, but I also think they're the Giants and they're going to play the Cowboys tight no matter what, right? Barkley's going to break one. There's going to be something stupid. But then again, look, Vegas also saw what we did to them in Giant Stadium in the elements, I guess you can say, with the weather and the rain and the shit. Beat them 40-0. Is it going to be 40-0 again? Probably not, right? But because that's just law of averages. You just don't beat a team like that twice. But, the Cowboys have to, and just based off of Brett's point with the last 3 weeks of Dak Prescott's play, and I know that it goes against everything that Keith stands for, but I don't know if the Cowboys are going to be balanced going forward. I really don't, man. I only say that because the running game is not working out the way they want it to. And whether that be the offensive line or Tony Pollard's sluggish start or whatever the case may be, it just seems to me that if they were going to be a run-heavy team, that they would have addressed this shit in the offseason and or trade deadline. Instead, they do nothing, and then they add another fucking receiver possibly tomorrow or tonight with Martavius Bryant. And then you have to look at the stat sheet as well, where Dak throws the ball over 40 times on Sunday.
Okay. Listen. This is a game to get our running game going. And I'm serious. All right. This is the one. If the Raiders and their offensive line can rush for 100 and fucking whatever yards they did.
The Raiders have a very good offensive line. Like a very good offensive
line.
I
mean, they're on their third fucking quarterback. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
that's not the
I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying. I mean, you think their offensive line is better than ours? Would you take the Raiders' offensive line over ours?
Probably not, but it's closer than what
that's my point. Well, that's all I'm saying is that this is a game where we can try to establish the run, get some confidence, get that stupid 15.5-point spread out of your head. We don't need to kill them. Let's just play football, be balanced, and just win the game. And that's it. Let things fall in our favor.
I agree with my brother. The point I was going to get at earlier is that these are the type of games where, first of all, we kicked the shit out of them 40-0. We embarrassed them. Second of all, we're coming off a very, very, very emotional loss. Third, it's a division rival. What I was going to say, and Keith kind of jumped on it, but I agree with him. We got to keep this simple. Not a lot of passing. Don't give them the opportunity to hurt Dak. I think we don't even balance it. I think we run more. I mean, it's all situational, of course, but the game plan, we can't go out like the greatest show on turf, putting our receivers out there. This is the type of game where we just maintain, drive. I don't give a shit if we score 14 points on offense and they get 3 points. I don't care. Let's just get the running going and take it nice and slow. That's my opinion on this game.
I mean, with a win over the Giants this week, the Cowboys will officially be caught up to the win losses as far as games played. The Eagles are 8-1, so the Cowboys would officially be 2 games back. With a date with them in 5 weeks, and like we said, the Eagles' schedule gets a little more difficult. Our schedule gets a little bit more, I say, favorable. I'm not saying they're going to go blow the doors off anybody, but you got to take it one game at a time. You got to win the games that are in front of you.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though, Sturchy?
Yes.
That instead of going out doing spread,
I would love the game to be over. I would love for the game to be over in 2.5 hours because all we did was run. I'm with you. Trust me on that. Like, I'm with you guys.
That should be our game plan. We should be working on just taking it, unless they do some crazy shit and jump up on us by 14 points or whatever.
That's the problem, man. Like, and I'm not saying, and maybe that did dictate why Dak threw the ball 40 times plus, because all of a sudden you found ourselves down quick. Then we came back. That's what I'm saying. We were down quick. Then we were up, right? And then all of a sudden we're playing from behind again. So it's a lot of throwing. So that's just part of it. You got to do that.
I would say with the reason why it would be good to establish the run game is so other teams can be like, okay, now we know they can do both.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if we're just going to be, you're not going to win.
No, you're going
to have a playoff game like the 49ers with Dak, and we're going to end up losing. If we continue to run an offense like we did against Philly in every fucking game. It's just not, I don't think Philly expected Dak to throw that much in that game, to be honest with you.
No, he did not.
You know what I mean? So,
and it's the same thing in the Rams game. Like, again, I liked what we were doing. I think both these teams dictate, maybe that was the game. I mean, obviously both game plans worked, even though we lost, but this is the type of game where you just pace yourself. And I think we do that for the next few games where, we take it back. I don't see this as a trap game, right? Like Arizona. I don't see it that way. I just see us,
historically this year, Keith, I'm surprised you haven't bring this up. Dallas is pretty damn good off a loss. I don't know if anybody realized that. But every time the Cowboys lose a game, they fucking show out the next week. So
I just realized something. How awesome would that have been? Not really, but maybe if DiNucci and DeVito were going at it head to head. DeVito Giants, DiNucci quarterback.
It would be the Italian Day Parade over there. It would be like Columbus
When's
Day
the last
every day.
time that happened?
I don't
When's
know.
the last time two Italians went at it?
Yeah, not for I don't know when Rocky
Montana Marino. I'll go Montana Marino.
Flacco and Testaverde. Did they ever go at it?
They're on the same
Montana
team.
Marino did the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I meant like of recent though. I meant.
And not for nothing, Keith. You keep saying we got no fucking film on DeVito. I've seen Twins. I've seen Batman Returns. I've seen a lot of film on this guy. What are you talking about?
He killed it as the Penguin.
He really did. Oswald Cobblepot. Are you kidding me, bro?
I'll be honest, bro. I did watch the condensed version, but it wasn't that great. He wasn't that great. There were some really bad.
They didn't let him throw. Against the Jets.
There were a couple drops, but there were some passes.
There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of frustration in New York right now.
They got Matt Barkley, bro. Matt Barkley's not.
They signed Jacob Eason as well today to their practice squad.
That's the dude that was on the Colts, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
so they're kind of going through a Rolodex right now. I saw a mock draft yesterday. It kind of scared me. Like I told you, we had this conversation through via text. Was like, why would Kyler Murray come back now with the Cardinals being in the shitter? And I'm like, well, you gotta show the rest of the world that he could still go. So you can, if you do want to dish him, you dish him. You know what I mean? Like, I did see a mock draft yesterday, which I don't know how much stock you could put into mock drafts, but like right now the Giants, I believe, are the 5th or the 6th pick in the draft, maybe even the 4th. I don't know at this point, but the mock shows that they trade their first round pick and something else, or maybe 2 first-round picks to get to the number 1 overall and draft Caleb Williams. So it's just like, because I think Daniel Jones getting hurt in late October, early November goes to me. It seems that you're going to be out half of next year too. He's not going to be ready for all that shit. He's not fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I don't buy into the whole tanking stuff. Not saying you're saying that. there's very few first picks that end up winning shit. And
I've had this conversation with my business partner. He goes, really, name the first round quarterbacks that have actually panned out to be like stars.
I mean,
Recently, last 20 years.
Mannings, both.
No.
I mean, recently.
Last 20, last 15 years. All these kids that are coming out of college that are being touted as these like fucking next big things. First round, like keep in mind, Jalen Hurts, second round pick, Dak Prescott, fourth round pick. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying Dak's turned into anything yet, but like Mahomes, the guys,
Jalen hasn't won yet either.
No. But I'm saying he's gotten there at least, right? But like a lot of these guys that are coming out of college, you're like, oh, this is it. He's the prodigy. He's going to be the next coming of Christ. And all of a sudden, they just never pan out.
That's what I'm saying. You take bird in hand and you play the best because you never know what gem comes out of this trash.
Crapshoot, bro.
Seen it over and over again.
I think
look at Favre and look at
Favre
and look at Brady.
Yeah.
I think Bradshaw and Aikman were the very first picks of the drafts to win Super Bowls.
Was that it?
That's it. No, there's been more. The Mannings, I think there's one or two more now.
Well,
but
Eli wasn't first. Technically,
Eli
was.
Yeah, but they traded.
Yeah, but
I know Peyton was. But I think it was Bradshaw and Aikman, and I don't know if I know Elway won later, but he was in the first pick. But anyway, all I know at the one time, because I remember it was Bradshaw and Aikman.
The Yankees got him.
Yeah, the Yankees drafted fucking John Elway.
And then the Colts took him and he decided, he didn't want to play or something like that.
Yeah, what's it? Fucking bitch made, bro. John Elway's a cuck. I hate John Elway. And there's no reason for me to hate John Elway other than the fact that he like shunned me and my brother of an autograph at a golf outing one time. And I was like, fuck this guy. I was like 8 years old, dude. Did I ever tell you that story that I went to that Cadillac golf outing?
Why?
Oh, dude. Cadillac golf outing happened at some golf course in Jersey. My mom took me, right? I got a football and I was like, I'm going to bring this football and whoever I meet will autograph the thing, right? And remember, I'm 8 years old at the time. So like I'm little sturch, right? So I go to John Elway's putting and before he lines up the putt, I had etiquette back then too. And I was like, hey, John, can I get your autograph? He's like, hey, man, yeah, definitely. Let me just make this putt. I said, oh, yeah, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks. And I'm so giddy. I'm like, John fucking Elway's going to sign my football. He sinks the putt. He bolted to his fucking golf cart and drove the fuck off. And I was like, fuck this guy. Right. So the little starch was broke.
That's fucking great.
Terrible, right? Douchebag.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
anyway, so that same day, remember, I've been witty and gift of gab my entire life. If you remember, Felipe Sparks was a cornerback for the New York Giants.
Yeah, he actually played Cowboys too.
He played for Dallas at the end of his career. But Felipe Sparks was a Giant. This is a great story. So he's putting, and I'm still like, I don't hate the Giants. I'll take any autograph. So I was like, Felipe, can I get your autograph? And first of all, everybody's like, how the fuck does this kid know that that's Felipe Sparks, a fucking corner for the bum-ass Giants, right? So he's like, man, let me make this putt real quick. Another guy, fucking putting green. He's like, let me make this putt real quick. He makes the putt. He's like signaling to the crowd, like waving. I was like, Felipe, that autograph. He's like, oh, man, I got to go drive, bro. And I was like, come on, man. He's like, hey, man, listen, I can't do it. I got to go. And I said, and I quote, asked my mother, I said, with attitudes like that, that's why the Cowboys blanked you 35-0 opening week. And, bro, when he goes, ooh, right? Bro, he comes charging at me, goes under the guardrail, tackles me to the ground.
No way.
Tackles me to the ground and does all these mock punches, like beating me up. And my mother's like, at the same time of her being panicked that an NFL player's beating her son up, she was like loving every second of it.
That's hysterical.
It was like, because she went, the whole reason why we were there is because Marino was there. So that's like, she's a big Dan Marino guy. And
did anybody sign your football?
You know who signed my fucking football? Like, riddle me this. Ready? Eric Kramer, quarterback, Bears.
Detroit? Was it Detroit?
No, Bears.
And Lions. No, bro, he's on the
Lions. Ready? My biggest one. My biggest Jim Dent, Hall of Famer. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff Blake, quarterback, Bengals.
Dude, he could sling it, bro.
So I had his autograph. It's I still just fucking football. Ready? The best one that I got out of all this, and he was the nicest dude that I met there, was Warren Moon. That's the autograph that I have. Like, he was the man.
Fantastic.
Like, he's the man.
One of the greats, yeah.
But yeah, so the ones I was going for all shunned me, and then the one guy tackled me. So
Well,
that's the story.
I got a generic story. It's going to be real quick. And I think I said Jack Nicklaus, the golfer.
Yeah.
the famous golfer at the Inverary Classic in Florida. I walked up to him because my mom wanted his autograph. I was 6 years old. And of course I was unsupervised at a fucking golf tournament. And I walk up to Jack Nicklaus. I'm like, hey, can I have your autograph from my mom? And he goes to me very nicely. He goes, look, kid, I can't right now. He goes, but after the whatever it is, I'll sign it for you. I can meet you over there and sign it. So he kind of like shunned me away, but it was very nice. He didn't ignore me. You know what I mean? So that was kind of
he didn't John Elway.
No, he didn't John Elway.
Oh, and then not for nothing, bro. They kidnapped my brother. Fucking Dan Marino's fucking caddy invited my brother to jump on the golf cart, and then they just drove off with Dan Marino. So my brother's on the cart with Dan. It's like, what the fuck is my life right now? I'm 8 years old and I have no idea. I just got tackled by a giant. Like, what is going on? And that weekend, if you really want to go deep on Google, go Google how Phil Simms got in trouble for grabbing a kid by the throat who asked him for an autograph.
What the fuck is wrong with you kids, bro?
Fuck up, kid.
It sounds awful.
Oh, yeah,
I'm trying to side with the players here. Why don't you
Dude,
just leave the fuck alone? Jesus.
Bro,
This is all my mother's fault. This is all my mother's fault, dude. I had no intent of meeting
All these
anybody. Like,
fucking
please
kids
sign it for
popping
my
out of-
son. I'm like,
Pete,
Mom,
don't you feel old now? All the people Sturch is mentioning when he's 8.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
I
over
was
here like-
34 when these guys were playing.
I'm over here like, Y.A. Tittle declined me of my autograph. Oh, old and shit.
And I met Jack Nicholson before he was the Shining. Like, it's like, what? Anyway, so let's pick this game, huh,
Jack
gentlemen?
Nicklaus, bro, not Jack Nicholson.
I know, but I was just saying Jack Nicholson because
No, I didn't know.
I
I didn't know. I mean, because they do celebrity.
I
didn't
heard
know
you
if
say Jack Nicholas.
All right, I didn't know because I screwed up, bro. I fuck up names.
You know
all the
what punks we were though? That when they would golf, we would me and my friends were fucking with them so bad. They stopped the classic by where we used to live in
time.
our
Yeah,
apartment.
the
complex.
Honda Classic.
Yeah,
Why?
bro, we would steal their balls. We would fucking light mats of fireworks when they're trying to tee off. One night,
It's like,
Keith,
make a little
were you
noise
with
here.
me and Jameis when we robbed the golf ball machine
Oh no, I
in the trash bags? Remember?
I remember that. I remember doing stuff like that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. And then all of a sudden Brett just, started robbing ambulances and
I was
shit.
laughing my ass off at the show last week when Brett was like, when he was talking about the cheap shot, when I was listening to it, he's like, we're the team that got, we got stole. Can you
Stole.
really roll around on the ground? I'm like, grow the fuck. You're 50 years old. Who out there is like, I was like, what is he talking about right now?
Bro, so I'm at the bar on
man,
Friday
it's
night.
a great point, though. Are we
I'm
the
at
guy
the bar-
that's sucker running around at the party, sucker
He's
punching
like,
people?
you got that friend who you don't know.
Bro, the best part is about this whole thing.
What?
Is that I'm at the bar on Friday night with my boy Kevin, who listens to the show. He's a Jets fan, but he listens to it because he loves Brett and he loves the camaraderie. And he goes, bro, Keith's a fucking riot. He watches and listens every week. He goes, man, like Brett talked about that fucking guy that was sucker punch. He's like, hey, I can relate to that. What the fuck? And he's a fucking cop, dude. So it's like,
That's
holy
great.
shit. Oh
Nah,
my
man,
god.
it's some bitch ass shit. If you're just gonna run up and swing on people that you could throw hand, instead of just standing up to somebody. But by the way, we proved who we were. We didn't run in the parking lot. We stayed and we scrapped.
Yeah, we scrapped. All right, let's see if we scrap this week. I'll start with Brett. We got the Giants coming up. Obviously, 15.5-point favorites. I don't like it. I don't like the spread at all. But what's the final score? Do we win this game?
First of all, definitely take the Giants in the points and the under. I'm serious.
under.
It's a guarantee right there. Number 2, the Cowboys stepped to the bully in the yard, told him to kick rocks, swing hard, move their jaw. Yes, son. No, like I said, man, I hope Dallas slows it down. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do, what the game plan is. I'm just gonna give you what I hope to see. So I'm hoping like a 17-3 score.
Okay.
Nothing crazy.
So we don't cover 17-3. We don't cover the 15.5. I get it. He told you to take the Giants for the points. So all right. So a nice 14-point easy.
Like he said, establish the run. Let's start getting our blocking in. I don't want to jeopardize Dak if we don't have to. Unless they jump up on us and we got to pass every fucking play.
I don't see that happening.
Really just pace ourselves. So 17-3, I'm saying.
17-3. Keith, do they score more than 3 points against the Cowboys defense at home?
So we got to remember, I think the Giants game is the first game, or the only game, I should say, where a team didn't score on us on the first drive because we blocked a field goal.
Very true.
Oh no, the Jets didn't, right? Jets didn't score.
I don't remember.
No, they didn't. I know. But anyways, regardless, teams have a really good first drives against us. I don't know what it is, but they do. So if that 3 points comes, it will probably come in, the first drive. We don't have, much film on this offense that's coming out of players, particularly the quarterback. That does worry me a little bit. I think at this point of the season, I'd be more nervous with a game like this if it was later in the season. I don't know if that makes sense. But at this particular point, I see us having control of this game of this season.
When's the last time? I was once to say, because you said you should mention the schedule. When's the last time we were done with the Giants? 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. No more Giants games for the rest of the year.
No,
That's just crazy, though, right? I feel like you're right when it comes to timing of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, just this is like a game where we would slip up more at the end of the season with the Dak Prescott led team. I don't know. I just see this game being a little different. Giants are going to come to play though, and that's the thing. And I'll bring it up again. This is their Super Bowl, man. Right now. These players are going to be amped. It's national TV. You're going to have a lot of guys from practice squad, second teamers that aren't going to back down, and they want to show the world that they can play. All right, and I know those are the little things that scare me about games like this. But all that being said, maybe 37-6.
I'm you. These things, they scare me a little bit, and these guys are going to come to play, but we're still going to win by 30 fucking points.
It's going to be really hard. I see us establishing the run and it going, and I don't it'll be a game where we just push ahead later.
Okay.
Where it's just gone.
In the spirit of my Felipe Sparks story.
Well, Keith, how many, I was going to ask you, I swear I was going to ask him while he setting that up. You think this is a trap game? And he just 8-3, whatever. How many yards rushing do we have? Do we establish the running game in this game, Keith?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 220 on the ground.
80 yards rushing.
Yeah. So, all right. So you got
Listen, I don't know if Pollard is the guy. The offensive line's a little suspect. D-line for the Giants is pretty strong. I think we have 289 yards rushing.
Hey,
with that being said, we blow the fucking doors off these guys. It's what?
13-6.
Our offensive line hasn't gotten any push, but they're going to push them into the next stadium.
13-6 is going to be the halftime score, and then we're just going to run away.
13-6. Okay. In spirit of my Felipe Sparks story, where I said the Cowboys blanked them 35-0 back in 1990, whatever the fuck that was, 3 or 4. I think the Cowboys are going to come back and definitely respond based off of that hard-fought victory. I do think it'll be a slow start, just like Keith's saying. He's at 13-6. I got something like 10-3, 13-3 or some shit at halftime. But yeah, man, once we get rolling and once we score some points, I think it's going to be good. Give me the Cowboys 64-3. No. Give me the Cowboys to win this game. I'll give them 24 points, and I'll give the Giants 13, actually. So 24-13, 11-point win. Nothing crazy. I know it sucks. I don't like it, but coming off
that's great.
Coming off the high emotions that we just had with the Eagles, you would hope that they would just come back and respond. And sometimes I think it takes a little longer to do that. I want to be wrong and just blow the fucking doors off these guys again and beat the brakes off them, as I usually say. But give me an 11-point, 12-point win. I'll take that. We're not going to cut.
I forgot to tell you. Did I ever tell you my San Francisco story real quick when I was at Alcatraz? And Keith's mom was there, and some 8-year-old asked her for an autograph, and she shanked him.
She's in the right spot.
Yeah. She shows up for signings and stuff at all the prisons that are, famous prisons.
Oh my God.
She shanked an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's what we do here. I hope today everybody enjoyed this very wild episode of the Jersey Boys podcast right here on the Chop Sports Media YouTube channel.
This was a good one. Keith wasn't yelling at anybody. He was calm. He wasn't angry.
My boy Kevin has asked me if either of you guys are on any kind of blood pressure medication. He's curious.
I'm your boy Kevin, by the way.
Well, by the way, he actually went to your show when we went backstage, and I said, "This is my boy, bitch ass Kevin."
Oh,
So
okay.
it
That
was- it was
Kevin?
Yeah,
Right,
so
I
he's
like
actually
him.
broke up. He's actually broke up like 8 fights at your shows the last like 5 years. Like people are
Kevin's
always
awesome. What are you
scrap.
talking about?
People are always scrapping at Brett's shows. You know, some guy got stolen in the parking lot.
Yeah, those are his fans. That's why he gives
No.
those analogies.
Oh, I know. These are the Brett Ernst fan base where they just fight in the crowd all the time. Anyway, with that
Sort
being
of like
said,
when you first make that Molotov cocktail before you throw it at somebody, you know?
What am I in the IRA?
oh man, what an episode.
Rioting.
With that being said, let's go Cowboys. We'll see you guys next week right here on the Jersey Boys podcast. See you guys next time.
Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boys Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Or whatever.
How about them Cowboys?